In this video, we're gonna be talking about 5 different investing apps that you can start utilizing today on your phone so you can get into investing. And stick around because I'm gonna talk about the 2 that I like utilizing the most out of these 5 coming right up. Hey fellow wealth builders, Dennis here with TruFinancials, where we love talking about personal finance to help you build your wealth and become more financially free. Make sure you have that subscribe button hit down below as well as the bell to get notifications when new videos come up. So before we get into these apps, first and foremost, this is not a comprehensive review of these apps. I actually do plan on doing the review of the 2 apps that I love the most more in depth, but this is just kind of getting you started on the idea of the different apps that you can really utilize to get started with investing, because some of these different platforms have some pros and cons to them for each person individually. But you might like something that somebody else doesn't. So definitely take a look at these apps and see what might work best for you. So one of the biggest things when it comes to these types of videos is people will watch these videos but not take action. So make sure that you take action by looking at these apps and saying what will work best for you and really get started when it comes to investing, so that way you can benefit your own financial future. So I will have a link to all of these apps in the show notes down below. Now keep in mind that some of them are referral links, which means that sometimes I get a bonus and sometimes we actually both get a bonus as well. So just something to keep in mind if you're interested in checking these out. All right, so first up is going to be Acorn. So Acorn actually does it where you can invest your spare change. So this is a really cool feature to really get people get started when it comes to investing, because one of the hardest things when it comes to investing is actually putting money into the account and actually kind of growing it. So when the fact that you're actually putting little change here and there from everything that you're spending, it actually makes it a lot easier to really get that money into the account. The other really cool thing about Acorn is that they do also have IRAs available for you to start investing in too. So if you don't want to use any of the other type of brokers, that is available for you on this platform as well. All right, so next up is going to be M1 Finance. Now M1 Finance has a really cool feature that lets you do what they call fractional shares. And what that means is instead of having to spend a whole lot of money on one share, you can actually break it apart by buying it in smaller pieces. So for example, let's say you want to own a piece of Amazon. So to be able to own a piece of Amazon can cost you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, depending on when you're buying it. And with M1 Finance, the way they actually are able to do it is they can actually help buy fractional shares of the company. So you own portions of it as you keep growing along. So instead of having to come up with those couple hundreds of even thousands of dollars, you can actually buy it at $20 a piece and start earning portions of a share until you get to either a full amount or however you feel comfortable with owning that company. So before we continue on, let me know in the comments down below if there's an app that you like to utilize that we didn't mention here today. I'd like to hear from you in the comments down below. Next up is going to be Stash. Now Stash is very similar to M1 Finance and it allows you to do fractional shares. So you can actually really get started with as low as $5 and help you kind of build up your portfolio in that sense, where you don't have to be putting in a ton of money at once. And that's something that I absolutely love when it comes to getting started with investing, because again, a lot of people don't take that action when it comes to actually getting started with it. So having something start as low as $5 can really get somebody in the door when it comes to investing. So next up is going to be Robinhood. Now Robinhood actually allows you to buy and sell stocks completely for free. So you're actually not having to pay that commissions cost to be able to buy and sell these stocks. Now some of the other bigger brokerage accounts on websites can actually cost you anywhere from $4 to like $8 to be able to buy and sell these things. So Robinhood actually allows you to be able to do that entirely for free. Now one of the big downsides with Robinhood is it doesn't allow you to do fractional shares, so you have to buy something at its full cost to be able to own a portion of that company. Last up is going to be Stockpile. This one I'm not as familiar with because I haven't really truly utilized it, but I have read a little bit about it, where it does allow you to do the fractional sharing as well, which is really cool. And they have this thing where you can actually gift card other people stocks, which I think is kind of a cool thing as well. So if you're interested in something like that, that can be an option for you as well. So as I mentioned, these are some of the apps that you can get started with when it comes to investing. Now, again, this is not a comprehensive review. These were just kind of mentioning the different types of apps that are available for you to really help you get started when it comes to investing. Now, I mentioned earlier that I do really have 2 that I personally favor out of all of these apps, and both of those are going to be Robinhood and M1 Finance. Now, both of those have some pros and cons to each platform, but of course, every single thing is going to be different for every single type of investor. I think Robinhood has a really great user-friendly interface to help you kind of get an understanding of what everything is looking like, and then M1 Finance actually lets you do that fractional sharing that I really personally like, because I actually like getting started with as little as possible to kind of help get that ball rolling for anybody that's interested in getting started with investing. So I do plan on doing a full review for the M1 Finance and Robinhood apps, so that way you can get some more information when it comes to utilizing those types of apps and what they kind of entail as well for you. Now, a lot of these platforms are really great for starter investors. There are other platforms, whether it's like Fidelity, Vanguard, E-Trade, Charles Schwab's, all those type of platforms and brokerage accounts for people that utilize investing for a lot more intense things than just getting started. And as I mentioned earlier, I will have the links in the show notes down below with all of these apps. I do know that the Robinhood app has a really cool referral link where if you utilize my link, you and I actually both get an additional stock for free, which is a great way to get started when it comes to investing. All right, let me know that you got value out of this video by hitting that like button down below, and you can share this out with somebody else that can really benefit from this type of information. And I got 2 additional videos for you here today if you'd like to continue learning.